Today we are looking at the verb Yalad, to give birth, Yud Lamed Daled, in the Concise Dictionary of Classical Hebrew. This is a good dictionary for beginners, but really you can use any dictionary, the same principles will apply. And what we can see here is there's a lot of Hebrew, there's a lot of English, and the entry is segmented into different parts, and this can be somewhat confusing. So what I'm going to do is show you how to use a biblical Hebrew dictionary specifically for verbs. I will be giving you a bird's eye view, so if any of these details seem too far advanced for you right now, that's totally fine. The main idea is for you to see the bigger picture of how these dictionary entries work. Alright, so we have three letters, Yud Lamed Daled. Notice that there are no vowel points on these letters. And what that means is that this is a verbal root, and it can appear in many different forms. And if you see over here, we have VB, which stands for verb. That means that here we're going to look at a verb entry. Right after our three letters of Yud Lamed Daled, we have a number, 495. And that means that this verb appears in many different forms, 495 times in the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible. There are numbers after that which aren't as important for us right now. So 495 times, this is a good verb to know. Let's take a look. Next we see the bold word kal. Kal is one of the 7 major Hebrew stems, or Hebrew binyanim. And these stems are critical for using the dictionary. It's the main thing you need to know. The dictionary entry is going to divide all the verbs by stem, and once you know your stem, you can translate your verb. And for those who would like to learn more, check out my Biblical Hebrew Grammar card, especially that chart called Introduction to Verbs, where I lay out what each stem looks like and what it actually means. So here we have kal, which means it's going to be our most basic form, and we have the number 241, which means it appears in this form 241 times. And here we have some examples of what a kal verb actually looks like. And the basic gist of it is that these are the most simple, straightforward verbs. We're not going to add too much to the root. So for example, in the perfect PF, we have Yalad. So we see here a very straightforward 3-letter root without too much variation. And then after these Hebrew forms, we actually have the meaning, the translation. And 1a means to bear, give birth to, usually of a woman bearing child. And this is the main meaning of Yalad in the kal. It's a mother giving birth. So if you, for example, are making a film about a biblical text, you want to take your camera and focus it not on the child, but on the mother giving birth to that child. Like any English dictionary, there are multiple translations for our verb in the kal, but for now we're just going to focus on the main one, which was 1a, a mother giving birth. Next we come to a paragraph that begins with ni, and this is an abbreviation for the Nifal stem. And we see the number 36. Okay, it's going to appear 36 times. And the first thing we're going to see, again, are different forms of a Nifal verb. So the PF, the perfect, is going to have that characteristic nun to start it, nolad, and so on and so forth. So we're going to see different forms in the Nifal. And then our translation is going to be, number 1, to be born, usually of a person. And this could either be a boy or a girl, or a man or a woman. It means this person was born. So if you are making a film and you see this verb, you want to direct your camera not at the mother giving birth, but at the child being born. That's what a Yalad verb in the Nifal is going to mean. Moving on, we see PI, which is for the PL. This only occurs 10 times. And the PL form is a doubled form marked by a dot. And that's why you'll see here in miyaledet, there is a dot, a dagesh in the lamed. So this is what the PL form is going to look like. But in terms of meaning, this is actually really interesting. It's number 1, to assist in delivery, or number 2, more commonly, the participle, the noun, which means midwife. So if you see a PL Yalad verb, you are not focusing on the children being born, you're not focusing on their mothers, you're focusing on the midwives who are helping those children be born. Moving on to our 4th stem, we see PU, which stands for the Pu'al stem, and this occurs 27 times. And like the PL, the pual is going to have a dot in the second root letter. Here we see in the Lamed of Yalad. And it also has that U vowel, Yalad. And the meaning of the pual is very similar to the Nifal, if not exactly the same, and it means to be born of a person. So once again, it's a passive verb, and we will be focusing on the baby being born as opposed to the mother or the midwife who helped bring about the birth. Moving on to HI, which stands for Hifil, and there are 176 examples of this in the Tanakh. That means this is very common. One of the marks of the Hifil is a hey at the beginning of the perfect form, and here we see holid. And we're going to see other forms in the Hifil. And the meaning is going to be 1a, to beget, of a father begetting a child. That's an old biblical English word which basically means to father a child. So to return to that film we're making, if we see a Hifil Yalad, we are not going to focus on the mother, we're not going to focus on the child, we're not going to focus on the midwife, we're going to focus on the father who fathered that child. Moving on to our sixth stem, we see HO stands for the Hufal, you could even call it the Hufal. And what we see is number 3. And you might think, wow, we're really in the weeds here. There's only 3 examples. Anything here is not really going to be so important for you to know. But interestingly, this became the most famous example of this root in modern Hebrew. And let's take a look. Hafal in the infinitive is huledet, being born. And we can see it in the Tanakh. The example they give here is Yom Huledet, the day of birth. And Yom Huledet in modern Hebrew is birthday. And then finally, our 7th binyan, we have only one example, but that's really important because it makes our root Yalad one of only a handful, even less than 5 roots that appear in all 7 stems. This Yalad is very unique in this way. And here in the Hitpa'el, it means to register your genealogy, establish your pedigree. So these are the 7 stems, and if you look in your entry and you still don't see your word, you're not sure what you're looking at the bottom here there's an arrow which points to a number of nouns that you can look up. For example, you could look up Yalad, which is a boy or a child. You could look up Yalda, which is a girl. You could look up Yalid, which means born to, and so on and so forth. So this is what a main entry of a verb is going to look like. And I'd just like to point out to you that you can look this up in a quicker fashion on my own biblical Hebrew vocabulary card. And when we take a look and find the entry Yalad, we see a quick entry which says Q, which stands for Kal. The main meaning is to give birth, that's a woman. And I give you a couple of other definitions, such as to beget and produce. For example, wicked people producing sin is going to use the root Yalad. Nifal, nif, to be born. Hifil, to beget. PL, to assist with birth. That was that midwife. And then I also gave for you some very closely related words, such as Yalad, NM, noun masculine, a boy, and Yalda, NF, noun feminine, girl, and Yalid, meaning born of, someone born of a house or a family. That's it. We now know how to use a biblical Hebrew dictionary for verbs. It's all about those stems, and it's broken down stem by stem by stem. You should go out and get your biblical Hebrew vocabulary card. You should go out and get your biblical Hebrew grammar card. You should get your favorite biblical Hebrew dictionary, and I wish you much success in your studies. If you enjoy this study and would like to learn biblical Hebrew yourself, you should consider taking a 10-month course with me at the Institute of Biblical Culture, where we are going to begin with the Aleph Bet, and we are going to end with translating the entire book of Ruth.